Welcome back to the Michael D. Show, guys. So happy to be here with Dan Leiva, the best-selling author of Amplified, the operator's playbook to scaling human potential in an AI world. Dan, welcome back to the show.
Great to be here. Great to be here in person. Actually, finally meet you in person.
Meet you in person in Bangkok today. And your book's blowing up everywhere. It's selling everywhere. In fact, in Asia right now, we're getting greater distribution, greater pickup everywhere. Hardcover, paperback, ebook. We're talking about audiobook. And Dan, you've been a VP at the executive level, a lot of major companies like Apple, Intuit, and Travelers and eBay. What mistake are CEOs making? Because I guess they're looking at this and thinking, hey, AI can really help me control the bottom line, fire a bunch of people, just turn everything over to AI. What problem does Amplify address?
Yeah, the key for me when I was looking at writing Amplified is how do you keep that trust and the judgment and human potential? Sure, it's going to cut costs, and sure, it's going to replace some of the people, but if you look at it first as how do I get rid of all the people, it's the wrong approach. And that's what a lot of companies are seeing now, and what they're seeing is they're hiring more people back. And you look at a lot of the companies that did that at first and got rid of all the people. I think the biggest one you saw was Klarna. Klarna was one of the first ones out of the gate that said, I'm going to get rid of all my people and get rid of all my software, and we're going to make it, run so smoothly without people. And then they were like, oh wait, we need to hire people back and we need to get the software back. And you look at a company that took an actual completely different approach, IKEA. IKEA said, hey, you know what? We can use AI to take care of all of our customer service. We have 8,500 customer service reps, and they're amazing people and know so much about IKEA. What should we do with them? And they said, they know IKEA, they know the brand, and what they did was they trained all of them how to be design specialists. And they took a whole new product to market and said, hey, we're going to have design specialists. You can call up and say, how do I design my space with IKEA products? $1.4 billion in new revenue.
Incredible.
Not get rid of the people, just create new capabilities for the company.
Well, you're talking about and blogging about on your website, cxamplify.com, where people can hire you for consultancy, hire you for speaking. You're talking about these case studies, but you've got a front row seat to these case studies. You talk about many of them in Amplified. I know I was reading recently, a company December 23rd, getting the COO out of bed at 3 a.m. Yeah. Everything's blowing up and going crazy. It could have been prevented. Talk to me about those human decisions that you empower people to make in Amplified.
Yeah, the key for me is, when I think about decisions, there's things AI can do and there's things AI should do. And the key for me, I think about it in three classes. If it's something that there's very little risk, you think about package routing, you think about things that if AI got it wrong, there's not a lot of challenges, not a lot of problems. Let AI make the decision, let it go. And then there's a second class, which is where AI can recommend, but a human should look it over.
Yeah.
And then there's things where is a lot of risk to it. There's either regulatory risk, there's legal risk, there's something where it could really hurt the customer. AI can inform. AI can put the whole package together, can get all the hard stuff together, but a human really needs to make that call.
Yeah.
And so when you look at your decisions, you need to say, what should AI do in this case? Should AI be making that decision, or should a person be making that decision? And you should think about that before you let AI take on any decision. What class decision is this? And who's responsible for that decision? And even when you're letting AI make that decision, make sure you know who in your company is responsible when AI is making that decision. So if it goes wrong, you know who to look at.
Amplified is available everywhere books are sold globally, hardcover, paperback, ebook. Grab your copies for your teams. Dan, you're speaking everywhere. What are some of the topics that you're taking to the stage and people are asking you to speak about on stage?
I think a few key things. Decision rights. How do you make decisions, what AI should do, what AI shouldn't do, and how do you make sure that you're keeping people responsible for that? Another key topic is how do you think about accountability for those decisions? How do you think about sequential decisions? Everybody's going to say, my piece of the pie was right. What I set up made the decision right. The next guy made it wrong. And so making sure you know who's responsible for the whole decision.
Well, that's the best way for people to get you on their stage or get you on their podcast as a speaker.
Yeah. Visit my website, cxamplify.com. You can connect with me there or connect with me on LinkedIn.
Who are some of your favorite type consultancy clients that you're looking to serve?
For me, it's the companies who are either you've done a pilot and you're stuck and you can't scale because you can't figure out how to get what you've piloted won't scale, or you started to scale and you're just not seeing the results that you expected. because you haven't gotten the governance in place right and you're struggling. I can help fix that. I've done it at Apple, I've done it at eBay, I've done it throughout my career. First time I deployed a chatbot was in 2006. AI isn't new to me.
So Amplified is basically an acronym. A stands for assess. What does assess mean?
For me, assess is really start to look at and understand what's going on in your organization. For me, you can't just throw AI at something. You know, I learned a long time ago, I used to work for somebody who would love to go to a trade show and find a new technology and bring it back and go, hey, we need this thing. And I would always ask, his name was Bob, and I would go, Bob, what's it going to do for us? He'd go, I don't know, but we need this thing. He was a pick a technology, find a problem kind of guy. For me, until you understand the business and understand the problems in the business, you can't just throw technology. So for me, Amplify starts with assess and really understand the business and understand the problems you need to solve before you try and throw technology at it.
That's really important. So what would you say for a company that maybe fired people too prematurely and they're wanting to bring their humans back? What's a good balance?
For me, it's really look at what are you trying to automate, and where's that balance between what you want to automate and where you need to bring humans in. For me, a lot of things, AI is really good at that. What are those analytical things? What are those things that it can do? As I said, what are those things that it can do about automating things that are analytical, that are facts? When you need that opinion, when you need that judgment, when you need that trust, that emotion, that's when you need people. So as you think about your decisions and decisions that AI is making, think about where you need to balance that human judgment and trust.
Number one on Amazon, Kirkus Reviewed, getting all kinds of reviews around the world, and just congratulations on the success of the launch. Featured in USA Today, featured in the Wall Street Journal, featured in a lot of CEO online periodicals and digital startup magazines. And what was the journey like for you writing this book? What did you see the main pain point for business owners around AI?
For me, there was a lot of hype around AI and what it was going to do for people. And for me, there was a lot of pressure from boards. You got to get it implemented. You got to get rid of all your people. And you know, for me, the journey in writing it was, how do I keep that out of the book? And how do I keep the human component in it? Because I really wanted to make sure that it wasn't just another book about hype. And how do I keep that human component? And for me, for writing the first book, especially, I was never a great student. And so for me to write a book was a pretty big thing. And so it was an interesting journey to write the book. But it was about, how do I make sure I get my thoughts out there in the right way?
Yeah.
And to keep it honest to me and the way I think about things.
Great feedback everywhere books are sold. Walmart.com, Target.com, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, globally here in Asia. Get it at Asia Books, Koinonia Books, in India, Crossword Books. Ask for it in your local bookstore and library. It's available everywhere. And so go ahead and give a review. Dan, we're hearing great feedback. And I just want to know, what is the main topic you speak about on podcasts that you're passionate about around the topic of Amplified?
Definitely decision rights and accountability.
Decision rights and accountability. It seems like it's moving so fast in the world, and you've got some doomsdayers and you've got some wannabe AI gurus and things like that. You seem to bring this element of experience, calm, but also wisdom to the AI space. What's the closing thought you'd like to leave with the listeners?
Don't be afraid of it. Yes, it's going to take some jobs, but I think it's going to create more jobs, and that's what you're hearing a lot now is about the job creation. As with any technology change, if you look at any technology change, with the internet created jobs eventually, right? You look at even at technology even before computers, right? You look at farming, you look at manufacturing, you look at all of those technology changes. It created jobs.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hype right now, and I think it's the same thing. And so for me, don't be afraid of AI. It's going to be everywhere. Embrace it, use it.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to use. But use it as your thought partner, not your thought replacement.
I love that, and I think that's a great thought to print out and put on your wall and let your employees look at every day. You say in Amplified that AI is the biggest disruption in the Industrial Revolution. What do you mean about that?
It is. It's came on so fast, and it is such a empowering technology that is so impactful to everything. The other technologies impacted different kinds of workers. This impacts all kinds of workers, and that's everything from the manufacturing to the accounting to the finance to the designers to programmers. Every kind of employee is impacted by AI versus just one kind of specialty.
Well, the endorsements that you're getting from the healthcare industry, from the software industry, from the customer service industry has been incredible. In fact, grab a second edition of the book with the updated endorsements from around the world. Grab hardcovers, grab paperback, grab this for your team, share it, implement it. Give me one more of the acronyms that really speaks well to you, because Amplified is an acronym. We mentioned assess. What's another one that's been working great for companies?
I think that's the biggest one. I think there's a couple of other, not so much the acronyms, a couple other topics in there. The decision rights, the red button protocol. For me, if you're going to implement AI, you have to have, I call it the red button. You have to have something in there that allows the employees to stop the machine if they see it going wrong. And that's one of the other topics I talk about a lot is you have to give them the power, the agency.
You talk about that case study in the book, December 23rd. If somebody could have pushed that red button, would have saved the company $500,000.
Yes.
Because it was 45 minutes to get the COO out of bed at 3 a.m.
Yes.
And somebody could have saved the company right there. So your book is filled with practical, actionable steps like that, and things you can plug in and use right away. So Amplified, we can't wait to see what's next. Grab your copy today. Thanks for being with us on the Michael D. Show. I want to do more as you're traveling Asia here, but you're a big family guy, and what's been one of the funnest things you've done in Bangkok?
The cooking class. We did a Thai cooking class yesterday. That's probably one of the best experiences I've had. I've traveled a lot around the world, especially during my corporate career. One of the things that we said yesterday after doing that is that's probably something we're going to try in every place we visit, try and do a cooking class. We really enjoyed it.
More than Muay Thai matches?
Yeah, that was actually better than that. Was fun, but the cooking class was better. Yes.
I bet. Well, you enjoy family, whatever keeps the creativity and the brain working, right? Thanks, Dan, for being on the Michael D. Show.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a lot of fun.